Did you just recently purchase your home and your backyard is incomplete, but you have no clue how to find the right landscaper and the things to look out for and how much things are actually going to cost you? Well, in this episode, I'm going to break it all down, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. If this is your first time tuning into this channel, I'm Chakits Krulsawat. We're a real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So today I'm going to break down exactly how much it cost me to do this whole backyard. And if you want to know exactly how much it's going to cost you price per square foot, well, wait until the end of this video. Let's talk about the covered patio. So the covered patio is 12 by 14, okay? Now, when it comes to a company that you hire, you gotta make sure they're licensed and bonded, right? And also, you need to take a look at the type of material, and based upon the type of material, is it a lifetime warranty on the material? This is a aluminum frame, right? And they literally put this thing up less than probably like 4 or 5 hours. Now, here's the thing. What I noticed is that you do have the option as far as how big that you want this thing to be. So if we take 14 by 12, that's 168 square feet. And initially this is going to cost you roughly about $15 a square foot. You can actually get it a little bit cheaper, just depending on the company that you choose. I paid a little bit more because I'm very picky on things. Now, I also did a 14-foot slope, right? Actually, it's 14 feet high, and I dropped it down to about 12 feet, and the reason why is because I wanted the water to run off. Now what I did was I brought in an electrician after to actually hang a ceiling fan, but keep in mind when you do the covered patio, there's actually a rack that goes above that, right? And you're going to want that because it keeps the frame very sturdy for you to actually add that ceiling fan. So if you do a covered patio, you need to make sure that you get that done, okay? Now, one thing that I did here was after it was done, this is the original light that actually came with the home. So as you can see, there's a conduit there. I actually tapped into it with an electrician, and it ran all the way up above because I didn't want it to be underneath aesthetic wise. It's just going to look ugly. So I ran one to the ceiling fan, and I also ran another plug here. The reason why I ran a plug here is because I knew that I wanted to add these lights that go all the way around, okay? So right now you can't see nothing because it looks great, but above you're going to be able to see all the conduit. But just make sure you have a licensed electrician and you actually run conduit as far as weatherproofing it, okay? Now the other thing that I did here was when I connected it to the light, I actually have the on and off switch for this. So if I turn this on and off, this also turns off the lights here on the outside here, these LED lights, and that cost me about 200 bucks for 54 feet. And also it would turn off the ceiling fan too as well. So I wanted that option from the inside and outside. The other thing is that we added another plug here is because eventually I'm going to put another floodlight on this side of the home, okay? Now keep in mind when you get this, the first thing that I would highly recommend that you do is take a hose and run the hose right above and see where there's going to be leaks. The reason why is because there was actually 2 leak spots here and I had to bring them back out before I actually made that final payment because I wanted everything sealed, because once you pay them, it's hard to get them to come back. So let's talk about some cactuses and some plants that I've actually added. The only plants that I really added to the home were actually the red barrel and the golden cactus barrel. And the reason why is because number one, I just wanted low maintenance, okay? And I wanted something that's going to thrive during the summertime because out here in Vegas, you got to watch out with the type of plants. Also, as far as like insects and like, you know, all kind of bugs and rodents, they tend to stay away from this. So that's the reason why I actually went with this. Now, for the golden cactus, I actually got a total of 6 of them. That cost me $472. And the red barrels, I purchased a total of 5 of them, and they cost me a total of $490. So I think that was actually a pretty good price. However, you can actually shop and go around on your own too as well. Also, as you can see, we have a drip system, irrigation system here. Now this will actually show you exactly, right, how many gallons per hour that it's dripping on here. I'm not too sure, but on this one, but every color has a drip per gallon. So that's something that you need to take a look at. Now this is a little bit above my scope, so a landscaper would know that more than I do. These rocks are actually 3/4 rocks, and the reason why I went with the 3/4 rocks for a couple of reasons. You could go smaller. Initially I wanted to go very small in this, but the problem is that when you have like your next door neighbors and they have these type of leaves that fall in, and we talked about low maintenance because I want something that's very low maintenance. So when the landscaper comes out here to blow all the dead leaves with these bigger rocks, a minimum of 3/4, what's going to happen is it's a lot easier to blow off the leaves out into the road versus if you had smaller rocks, because they get stuck. And not only that, you kick them, you move them around, they're very easy to move around. So that's the reason why we did this. Now all the rocks that you see here cost me a total of about 250 bucks. So these are actually spotlights, and I actually ordered a total of 9 of them, and they cost roughly about $67 for one. So it cost me a total of like $706 for all 9. Now the reason why I actually did the spotlights on here is because when this thing actually shines up against the wall, you have this nice illumination at night, and it really sets the tone. So I really do like that. And also these are actually LED lights. They're only 15 watts, so it doesn't use that much electricity. You can see these are actually path lights, and I initially got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 path lights, and they're gonna run about $75 per light. But this is what happened. When I looked at it, I really liked the path lights because it's literally going down the sidewalk. But then I realized that, you know what, after concreting this whole thing, this pathway all the way out to the front here, okay, we had this beautiful walkway, and I realized maybe I should have did some lights here, some pathway lights. So I added 4 more. So it cost me about 775 bucks. But the reason why I also did this too as well is because I also have a camera system right here. So this really lights up at night. And also it's not too bright, but it's bright enough where you can see if somebody walks through here. And it's just another nice feature and element to it. So now the other thing is that this right here, this pressure breaker valve, I actually got a brand new one and they replumbed it. The only downfall about this one was that the shutoff valve, when they built the home in 2009, homes during that time period didn't have a shutoff valve. You would actually have to shut off the main valve to shut this off. So that's the only downfall. So if you're purchasing a home, you want to make sure that from the main line they also have a shutoff valve just for your sprinkler system. So I purchased this brand new, and also here is actually the control valve panel. And with the control valve panel, this is the control of the back. However, what happened was originally we had landscaping up in the front, and there was another box here, right? And it was probably about maybe a foot off, okay? They were going to concrete around it. I said, no, rip it out. We're going to start all over and move it more towards the right. So that way we can actually have a pathway. Because if you don't tell them to do that, what's going to happen is they're just going to concrete around that, and it's not going to look good. So basically what happened was there was some tubing, right, electrical and also plumbing to run to my plants down this way in the front yard, but I've capped that off, but I still have a tube that runs through, so if I ever want to connect in the near future, which I will here shortly, then we can just tap into it, okay? So what you see right here, this is a portfolio. This is actually the dusk to dawn. This is what actually controls the pathway lights and all the lights to the property for the landscaping. However, I start off at 140 watts, which cost me roughly about 450 bucks. But I realized with all the additional lights that I have, right, and this is where you have to take a look at it. When it comes to lighting, it's how many watts per light, and you need to make sure that this has enough wattage to power all those lights. But I knew that in the near future that I was going to add more lights to the front of the home, so I actually upgraded this to a 200 watts. Now, 200 watts literally cost me about 900 bucks, so these things are not cheap. In addition to that, a quick tip, if you're going to build a home, make sure that you have outlets on the outside when you do your landscaping as well. So let me just show you how all this works right here. So this is your pressure breaker valve. When you have too much pressure in the line, this should actually go off. However, you should actually have a cover on here. Now this right here on the control valve literally pushes the water here. So we actually have PVC that comes underneath here and underneath this concrete here to right about here. But because we have concrete here, we have a 3-inch PVC pipe that runs across. what that PVC pipe is doing right now is, in the near future, if we need to get irrigation into it or electrical, we can still run that. So that's the reason why I did that, and that's something that you should always do too as well, because you don't know, you may change things or you may need more power. Also, going back to the drain swell, we had a couple problems with the drain swell. Okay, one thing is that this backyard, the neighbor's backyard, is elevated very high. So what happens is when they water their plants, it rushes down to the lower lot. So that's the dominant lot. So basically what's happening is you have all this water that's running down here. That's why you see all this spalding. This section right here used to get very soft and you would have a lot of water. And that's the reason why we ran a 5-inch drain all the way down this way, but we ran the drain all the way down here so that way we could suck up the water and push it out. Here, we have a drain here, and we also have a drain here. Initially, that drain wasn't here. This was the only drain, okay? From the drain swell, all the water should be rushing down to this drain, and we have a pipe that runs down this way, cuts across this way, okay? Runs down this way, underneath the air conditioning unit as well, and also runs straight down that way, okay? And this is what we talk about drain swell, and you have to do it the right way. Now, one of the problems that we just ran into is because it literally just started raining, which is perfect timing, okay? Because of this section right here was elevated a little bit high, and also we have this synthetic grass, right? What was happening was actually pooling a bunch of water here, and what would happen was, because this side is higher, it would not suck in the water. So what I did was I contacted them back, I took a picture, and I said, hey, look, we got to rip this thing back out. We need some sort of drain line here. So basically they ripped this out through a drain line here, right in this little drain swell to connect to this one right here. So now it works perfectly fine, and I'm very happy with that. All right, so let's talk about this synthetic grass. So basically when it comes to synthetic grass, it's really sold based upon the price per square foot and also the quality of the grass. This grass right here, we did more of a thicker type of grass, so it's going to cost a little bit more. It's also pet friendly, and supposedly during the summertime when it's like 180 degrees out here in Vegas, it shouldn't burn your feet. So this literally cost me roughly about $7.75 per square foot. Now, to cut out this whole thing, we wanted to do it the right way. We didn't want to piece it out. So it comes in large rolls. So we needed a total of 240 square feet in order to accomplish what I was looking to do. Now, it cost me roughly about almost $1,900 just for this quality, okay? Now, here's the thing. Initially, they were trying to piece this out on 3 different pieces, but I said no. The most that we could have done, or the least amount that we could have done, was actually 2 because of how wide the rolls were, right? So basically, we cut it right here. So you can't really see the seam on here, and it worked out really well because here's another section piece, and then, you know, as you can see, it just flows as one whole piece. Now, the thing about this is that because of the quality and how thick it is, as you can see, as I step down, right, it really feels like cushioning, like real grass, right? Yeah, it does. Now, but as you can see how I'm stepping down? Yeah. And you kind of have that footprint. Now, what's great about this grass is this. You don't have to have a company that come out here and spend thousands of dollars on, you know, a brush roller. You could take one of those brooms, and I think they're like the 3-foot brooms. You know what I'm talking about, Rudy? Yeah, yeah. You can actually push it and bring it back to life, and that's the reason why I like this. Now, they sell them anywhere from $3 all the way up to $9 per square foot. So you need to find out on your own and do the research to find out which one suits and best your needs or meets your needs. Now, if you guys made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you. Now, the most important is how much does something like all this cost, right? And how do you compare this lot size to your lot size? So I broke it down and I made it very simple so that way you guys can kind of gauge of how much it's going to cost you. So with the landscaping alone, right? Landscaping alone cost me a total of $9,289. The covered patio is $2,520. The concrete was $840. The ceiling fan was $150. The TV and the wall mounts is $400. I'm just going to throw that in there. And also hanging the ceiling fan was $150. So I'm into this right now with everything that you see, minus the grill, total of $13,349. But then how do we actually figure out how much this is going to cost you if you want the exact same setup? Well, if you want the exact same setup, this is the way I broke it down. So my lot size is 2,614 square feet. But if we split that in half, that is 1,307 square feet. But we know that this backyard is not 1,300 square feet. However, I'm going to go on a conservative side, so I'm going to say roughly this lot size in the back is $1,300 a square foot. So if I'm actually paying $13,349 a square foot, you take that and you divide it by 1,300, you're paying roughly about $10.25 a square foot. And that's with everything total. I understand that, you know, the covered patio is $15 a square foot, but also the reason why that drives it down is because there's certain other things that are lower cost as far as the concrete. Concrete's only $5 a square foot. The grass is only $7 a square foot. So that's the reason why, and that's how it actually averages out at $10.25 a square foot. So hopefully that helps you out and answers any questions that you have. Also, if you guys want to see what company I've used and all the things that I've added to the home, I'm going to have a link in the description below. And also, if you guys want more video content like this, let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also give us a thumbs up. Other than that, until next time, peace.